Have you encountered the emotion called anger sometimes? You'll be surprised why I'm asking you, because practically every one of us undergo this emotion. Yes, this is the most frequent emotion one may actually go through in his life because of the provoking situations that may come and influence him. Mind you, this emotion should also be controlled, because the anger is a momentary madness. That small moment may cause a heavy destruction to oneself and the people around. So we should be really very observant on it. Observe it and manage it. Let us discuss something more about it. Bhagavad Gita tells us a very analytical approach to this anger. There is a shloka which comes in the Gita. Let us recite that. Dhyayato vishayan pumsa sangat teshopajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha कामात् क्रोधो विजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. So this shloka tells us how this anger is actually aroused. What are the causes? See, first is the contemplation. Contemplating on the object of sense, so contemplating on any situation or any person who has hurted us or whom we want to put our emotions on or express something, our desires. Because see, this contemplation eventually turns out to be an attachment and desire. And if then those desires not fulfilled, anger comes. It is the fourth stage. And then that anger eventually translates into delusion. See, delusion is more dangerous than illusion. In illusion, you consider a rope to be a snake, but in delusion, you consider a snake to be a rope. It's quite dangerous. And then, after delusion, the memory is bewildered. And once the memory is bewildered, you just get completely blank of all your emotions and sensitivity when you are angry. And then, intelligence is lost. Ability to discriminate what is right and wrong is called intelligence, and that itself is lost, and that's why one does wrong actions or take wrong decisions. That's why I say, when you're angry, don't take decisions at that time. Just hold on. So my dear friends, we should handle this emotion in a very righteous way. Don't you think so? At this point of time, I would like to give an example for this constructive mechanism, an example of a dam. A dam has backwaters, and they have doors when they channelize those backwaters for the benefit of the city. Suppose there is a crack in a dam. That tiny little crack, if it is not repaired at the right time, will actually devour the whole city. It will cause a colossal disaster. That's why at a very initial stage of the tiny crack, it has to be repaired. If we compare that to our lives also, the backwater indicates our lower passions, and the dam are our spiritual principles and philosophy, which we hold them as a barricade in our life to control those lower passions. And when we have that, we may not act in an immoral way, we may not act in an unpredictable way, and that's very necessary. You may be in a leadership position, or you may be in any position outside. It will help you to understand this aspect of having our life connected to the divine principles will help us to maintain a barricade to our emotions, which will actually make us very reactive at times. Don't you think so? This anger can also be constructive. Yes, there are two types of anger. One is constructive anger, one is righteous anger. The constructive anger will help the people, right? And the wrong anger will actually destroy them, is it not? So we have to be very constructive in our even anger, like emotion as well. And Gita tells us a solution on this as well. By connecting ourselves with these spiritual principles, our intelligence becomes very steady. and those provoking situations, we become more tolerant to handle those situations. We are able to observe them and manage them, and we are able to regulate them. Regulation, I mean to say, we are able to channelize them in a very constructive way. Just like a mother is guiding a child for doing something very good, she may even scold the child, but that scolding is for the child's good. Don't you think so? Hanuman also was angry when he burnt out the Lanka, but it was a constructive anger again. So in this way, the anger can also be a constructive anger. It may not always be the bad version of it. But if you don't want to make a bad version of it, we have to see the good version, how it can be made by the right principles in its place, and barricading ourselves with those, our lower emotions with those right principles. Is it not true? And that's where the solution lies. I would again reiterate that just observe and manage and regulate your emotions, which erupt out of different contemplation and unfulfilled desires, and then refrain from those emotions at times and help yourself to channelize them in a very constructive way. I thank you so much for hearing this, and I wish you all the best in your journey also in handling different provoking situations. Because see, a great person is not born, a great person is born out of his choices that he makes in his life. So let us make the right choices and act on those right choices at the time when the influencing situation comes in our way. Okay, so please, if you have any questions or comments, please do tell me and ask me in my email as well. And please do subscribe to my channels to get such videos again. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Cheers. God bless.